Hello, everybody. It is 12:30 p.m. on Friday, the 15th of January. And we do hope you're all well and safe and happy at this difficult time. I'm Michelle Beckett from ADHD Unlocked, and I'm joined as ever by the wonderful Steph Camilleri, also from ADHD Unlocked. And this week we are looking at the thorny topic of decisions, aren't we, Steph?
We are indeed. It's a difficult one for us, isn't it? Making decisions, and it's interesting that you did the habits webinar this week, Mish, because that's obviously one way to get ourselves out of our own way, so we don't have to make decisions in relation to the things that are good for us.
Yes, because there is this anomaly with adults with ADHD, is there not? In that we sometimes make life-changing, huge decisions that that the muggles or the neurotypical people would maybe sort of, take their time over and really think about, such as myself agreeing to marry ex-husband number two after a week of being in a relationship with him, and kind of just going with that decision. And then we see people quitting jobs that they've been in for, maybe decades to start their own business without even thinking about it. But then I find really simple decisions that neurotypical people wouldn't even give two hoots about, or wouldn't even cross their mind that it was a challenge, such as what to cook for tea, where do I put this spoon away, which drawer does it go in, which particular section of the cutlery drawer does it go in, what do I pack for the weekend away, when in days gone by when we were able to go away. But it's kind of those sort of things really tax my brain, but then I'll make impulsive decisions about big things in life which I really should spend more time thinking about. And I'm not alone, am I?
No, we had our members meet on Wednesday, which was, I mean, there were a lot of people that week, and it was fantastic actually, just to hear members talk about their most common decision making kind of situation difficulties, like where they find it really difficult. Someone was talking about, for example, the supermarket, because it's also the conditions under which we make the decisions in. So if we're getting sensory overwhelm, it's really hard to be clear to think. You can't think through the noise.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was interesting.
Yeah, and when your tank is empty and you are overwhelmed, that decision making becomes almost impossible. And I've had to say to my daughters, I have no idea what to cook for tea. You're going to have to make a decision. I'm feeling, quite headachy or overwhelmed or whatever, and we're going to have to really spell out things because my ears aren't even processing stuff right now. But the reason is, I think, is because of executive dysfunction. So those tiny little decisions and choices and knowing what to do next, which is all about executive function, that's the kind of decision making that paralyzes us. And things like over researching the buying of products, that we need to buy, and avoiding these decisions. But there's decision avoidance that a lot of ADHDers do as well, isn't there, Steph?
Massively, definitely one of the biggest kind of procrastination kind of sources is over having to make a decision on something. So we kind of avoid it or sit on it. Yeah, which is not good, because obviously when you look at in terms of living life, fulfilling your potential, you got to make, the right decision. You got to at least make decisions, right? Because how, your outcomes very much depend on the decisions you make.
Yeah. And this is the thing. If we make decision making easier, or remove some of those decision making processes altogether. So in the Habits special webinar that I did yesterday, and the recording is available publicly for people to watch, I talked about why Mark Zuckerberg wears the same grey t-shirt every day. And he's kind of removing that decision making process about what to wear, because we do that a lot, don't we? So some of us will struggle with a decision about what to wear. Does that ring any bells, Steph, today?
Actually, funny you just mentioned that. Yeah. So, and yeah, it's really interesting when you break it down. For instance, this headband that I'm wearing today, I've always kind of shied away from kind of wearing colors or anything that could be a bit standouty, because, that judgment, what people might think am trying to draw attention, or maybe I look a bit stupid. But I like the color. Actually, we often don't give ourselves permission to proceed with what brings us joy, what sparks joy in us, and actually I really like the color, and it makes me happy, and I feel happy kind of wearing it. So I actually asked myself, so I had to make that decision, as Michelle knows, do I wear it, Mish, or do I not? And before I spoke to her, something that one of the members in our meetups brought up really kind of resonated with me. And what he said about making decisions, the way he kind of his process is, well, is it reversible? What's at stake, which we covered in the webinar, the what's at stake question. And yeah, so it's about getting it in perspective. So those decisions where you can reverse, he tends to not really spend a lot of time on making those decisions. Sometimes, for instance, he talked about the dilemma of choosing what to wear. He delegates that decision to his kids, which explains a lot. Only joking. Only joking. The particular member that's watching this, I'm joking. But hey, why not? Again, removing yourself, getting yourself out of your own way and reducing decision fatigue.
And this is it. It's because we overthink. We have so many options rather than thinking in a linear way. Oh, I'll just wear this headband, which looks stunning on you, by the way, and the color does really, really suit you. But I'm the same as you. I don't wear colors, grey, black, dark colors, because I've already been called a drama queen or drawing attention to myself a lot of my life because of my ADHD, which I now understand why people say that. You kind of think I'm going to kind of, step back a little. But we overthink these things. Most people would just go, I'll put the headband on, it does look great on you. But so what do we do about this? It's about sort of minimizing these, and building habits is one way to bypass that executive dysfunction that we have about making decisions. So if we build in habits like planning the week's meals on a week or two in advance, and having a 2 or 3 week rolling menu, it just removes all that. And I'm saying this as if I do that.
Yeah.
I'm saying this as if, I've got it all nailed and I have a 3 week rolling menu. No, tonight I don't have a clue what we're going to eat for tea. And it's always that stress of, have I got stuff in? All of this kind of thing. But if we just spent a little bit of extra time, maybe doing an audit, which we suggested to our members this week, of what decisions tax us, what type of decisions, because there's the type of decisions that are just reversible and not important, like, do I wear this headband, what to cook for tea, that tax our executive function. Then there's making impulsive decisions about things. We should look at our values and look at where our life's going and spend that time and go through a proper decision process about what we really need and whether we're people pleasing when we're making this decision, all that kind of thing. So we don't make impulsive choices that will have a massive impact for the rest of our lives, as I have done several times in my life. Or the paralysis that we get with decisions, where we just shy away, head in the sand, ostrich, not wanting to look at it. I know I need to make a decision about this, but I can't face that decision-making process, whether that's to do with an emotional decision, huge life-changing decision, or executive dysfunction. So we need to do an audit and what we could do about this, where we could enlist support from others to talk through that decision-making process.
Yeah, no, that's spot on. Yeah, there's those kind of key features of making sure you're in the right headspace to make the decision. So again, that's creating that pause that us ADHDs aren't very good at carving out for ourselves. So also checking in to make sure you're emotionally kind of regulated. I mean, this is all in relation to the big decisions, obviously. And then with those kind of smaller decisions that aren't really that impactful, that really do paralyze us, though, definitely kind of planning ahead, but also maybe delegating that decision to someone else, or like, what you talked about in the webinar on habits, reducing decision fatigue and setting a rule, for yourself. Again, getting out of your own way. But definitely I feel, and this was interesting because I saw in the chat, is when we're talking about the headband thing, I think a lot of what does hold us back for us ADHDs is definitely that fear of failure and rejection. So much, seriously, Mish, so much comes back to RSD. If we just gave ourselves permission to just, like speak our truth, go out there, play a bigger game, wear, the thing that makes us happy, that sparks joy, right? Like, how different would all our lives be if we could operate from that place?
Yeah. And what you've said, it's only just really occurred to me about decision making and how much RSD plays into that. And talking about that, I've often joked that when I'm an old lady, I'll wear what I want and I'll wear really colourful things because it won't matter to me if I get rejected. But why should I wait until then? Why should I wait until some arbitrary point in the future to decide that I'm going to dress as, more colourfully, as you've done today? And I'm really proud of you for doing so. You inspired me to wear more colours, because I deliberately shy away for the same reasons as you.
So we never had this conversation before, Mitch. This is the first I've heard that this is also, because it sounds like it's quite a big thing for you, and some of our members as well have been saying, I mean, how many of us are holding ourselves back
Yeah.
from expressing who we really are and what we like? And
And blaming decision making for that, when actually, if we dig a little deeper, there's RSD under the heart of this decision making, as well as executive dysfunction. But actually, one of our members has just made a really, really important point in the chat, that she doesn't accessorize for the same reasons we've just discussed. And although it's not a priority, it's something that would be a sign of her thriving if it was. Now,
yeah,
what really good barometer of how you're doing in terms of your self-esteem and managing your ADHD symptoms, and kind of living to be your true self, if accessories could be a little hidden barometer. I mean, for me, it's like singing, just singing in the shower, singing when I'm washing up. I know that when I do that, it's a sign of me thriving, that when I stop singing and listening to music, that I'm preoccupied and something needs to change. So if we look at these little barometers about decisions, whether listening to music or not, that can go a long way into being a check-in, really, and then all other decisions will become easier.
yeah, it is that giving yourself permission. No wonder. Yeah, because it's interesting, because obviously the more you know about yourself and what you want, it's easier to make those bigger decisions, right? Because you can ask yourself, well, does this align with, yeah, my values, my needs? Will this take me forward towards my heartfelt vision? And a lot of ADHDers, just haven't taken that time to know what they want. But it's more than that, isn't it? It's not just you can know what you want, but it's whether or not you've got that kind of love for yourself and can overcome that RSD to be able to pursue that.
Yeah, and that self-love is critical. And it's just occurred to me, I stayed in a relationship for several years where I knew I wasn't properly loved, but fear kept me in that relationship, and I was frozen by the decision. And I'd visit that decision, do I stay? What's going on here? But because I didn't have enough self-love, and I was scared of the rejection, thought maybe that's what you deserve and you'll never get, all of these kind of issues play in. And self-love, as you've just said, Steph, is one of the most important factors to being able to really dig into what matters to you and
Yeah.
what you deserve.
Yeah, so that you do actually make decisions and make the right decisions for yourself that are really in integrity with who you really are. It's no wonder that I guess our lives are just not, maybe sometimes just not, we're not where we want to be, and we wonder why. But again, it's because of the decisions that we've made. So I guess if we start making different decisions that align with what we really want, that can, that light us up, how different, where would we be? I mean, I started making the right decisions, and in terms of, where I used to be career wise and where I'm now, with you, with the community, that's because of the decisions that I made when I stopped. I don't know, I had the blinkers on with work, and I put up with a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have. And then, like a lot of ADHDers, we get to the point where we think that's it. A lot of our emotions sometimes make our decisions for us, and that's how I drew the line in the sand. And I was like, that's it, I'm leaving. And but wouldn't it be great though to not have to wait until that point, till we're driven out, but actually know who you are and have that love enough for yourself to go, no, no.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You're so right. And there's so much more to this decision making. I mean, we have given a lot of hints and tips. I did say it right. I didn't get it mixed up this time. Hints and tips this week within the community. They're all recorded and they're up on the members portal about how you can reduce that decision fatigue and stop yourself over researching when you're buying products. We've got heaps of smaller tools and larger tools to help you make those big and small decisions that are on our members portal. So do join us. The community is thriving. We're improving it all the time. We now have our affiliate scheme, our community recruiter scheme, where you can not only earn money for referring other members to us, but also if you wanted to gift that money back, so that that money could go towards paying for somebody, you know, who's on benefits that couldn't afford membership, then that's what you can do as well. We've also got a members directory where you can connect with other members, which is really exciting, build a profile so you can make business contacts, accountability buddies. It's really, really thriving. So do join us and go to members.adhdunlocked.co.uk/shop. But we have some big congratulations for one of our members this week, do we not, Steph? I'm really excited about this.
So excited. Yeah, one of our very own members, Leanne Maskell, she's finally published her ADHD A to Z book, and it's amazing. It's fantastic. And we feel very honored that she's mentioned and recommends the ADHD Unlocked membership community as one of the support networks that ADHDers should definitely join and get supported and learn. And yeah, I mean, this is fantastic. I mean, there's no other book on ADHD that's kind of specific to the UK in relation to the UK system, navigating the system. But also, I just love how she's kind of gone through all the different challenges, and obviously through her own lens, because she's got ADHD, and a lot of some of the stuff, I guess, as well has been inspired by, you know, what we've covered in ADHD Unlocked a little bit. But I mean, it's all her amazing work, and she's got these practical exercises at the end of every chapter too. So, you know, you can, we might maybe do a few of those. Why not? In ADHD Unlocked as well. But just more evidence that, you know, together we're better, aren't we? You know, we're all here to support each other and to help us all, you know, fulfill our potential. And yeah, look at this. So we're so proud. We're so proud.
Congratulations to Leanne. It's wonderful. I've ordered my copy on Amazon. So it's ADHD and A to Z by Leanne Maskell. So the link is posted within the group on Facebook that you can buy it. So it's really exciting. So let's support our community here and really sort of make it fly on Amazon and get some tips. So well done to everybody. And thank you to the community this week. It's a very difficult time with the pandemic. You're all doing great, staying positive, supporting one another. We've seen that within the group. So do join us, be active within the group, and thank you to everybody for this week. And next week, I believe I'm doing nutrition. Is that correct, Steph? Is that correct?
I'm not doing it. Yes.
So nutrition and ADHD. I mean, I spent years researching nutrition before I got diagnosed with my ADHD, looking at gut bacteria and all sorts of, you know, amino acids to try and balance my neurotransmitters. So there's a wealth of fascinating information I can give you about nutrition next week that will help support your ADHD. So I'm very excited to dig into the science behind that. So do join us for nutrition next week. So take care, have a lovely weekend and stay safe. And thank you again, everybody, for all of your support. You're great. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.